Alright, so we're back on the Apple chart. So just let it get a few ticks and I decided I was going to come in and talk about it. Notice this big volume spike that we had right here. Right around right there. This volume spike usually occurs in the open. So like the first minute ticker volume spikes, depending on the intervals you have it, 1, 5, 50, 60, that first volume spike generally never really means anything significant. It's just all the orders getting filled right at the open. Now we're going to go over to the candlesticks, which you see we're making higher lows. Let me draw some lines over here. So we have, as you notice, higher lows coming in. However, we're having issues pushing for these higher highs right now, which generally means it's going to start to pull back in a second. You could tell we have a resistance right around in this region around what is that, 378.59. So right now we're going to notice if we cannot make higher highs, we're going to start to pull back a little. You see this wick is starting to get nice and thin. Bears are starting to win the battle. Volume's a little low, so I think we're going to see a little pullback coming in soon. So we'll just kind of hang out and wait for it to happen. While that happens, I'll give you some quick notes on what's on the screen. We have these pink are Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands. It's pretty much bouncing points of the stock, or if it breaks out. Like I said, generally what happens if the stock touches the band but doesn't break it, it will bounce down. If it breaks the band, it will bounce up, and then when it comes back down and touches the band again, it will bounce back up. Same thing with the bottom band, but obviously a reverse. And then you also have our moving averages, which are these red lines, which you see this one moving average is just going to kind of hang out above. This one's going to hang out below, and these two are kind of irrelevant. With Apple, the moving averages don't work too well with how fast it runs. I could show you a 6-month chart. Hopefully it'll work this time. And you see how these moving averages are pretty laggy behind, as opposed to if you go to a different chart, which I'm not going to do right now. You'll see them more on point. So we're pushing. We're pushing for the higher highs here. Looks like we might get it. I think we'll see roughly 380 price range today for Apple. 380 to 383 is my prediction. So we're gonna just go check out the volume. Volume excluding that one spike. It's not bad. It's starting to pick up a little bit. You had a nice little spike here. That little spike pushed us to higher highs. Oh, let's stick out. And yeah, so that's it for now. I'll cut back in when some more interesting stuff begins to happen. Alright, sorry about that cutout. I had a phone call, but we didn't really miss too much. You see, pulled back at the support, around the support level I drew. Didn't really test to break it. Just pulled back a couple ticks, 3 ticks. Hit resistance right here, which was drawn. Now it's starting to just consolidate. It's going to move up and down a little bit until it decides which way it wants to go. You're going to notice we're going to have some squeezes coming in with the bands. The EMAs are going to probably start to squeeze too. We have a little squeezing with the MACDs. So squeezing is pretty much just when a stock price kind of stays consistent and see it moves in this little area. And all these indicators just come in more narrow. So we're just going to cut out now. I'll cut back in when the stock decides which way it wants to move. Alright, so it looks like the stock balanced way it wants to go. It's going to do a nice little pullback here, as you see, right when it broke support. It gapped down a little for this pullback. So let's see what's going to happen. I think it will probably fall to roughly, I clicked the next support. Let's see what this is. Yeah, it says support right here. I say this pullback's going to end very shortly. And if not, it'll pull back to this previously low, right around here. So let's see what happens. As you notice, we're having a nice squeeze coming on over here. These lines, Bollinger Bands are still a little spread out, but they're slowly starting to squeeze in. So we'll see what happens. And then, as you notice, the MACD, the trigger line, crossed below the signal. So we're going to see it turn around very shortly. Let me just get this big spike out of here to make volume easier to see. So notice we have our this right here is pretty much what's starting to trigger our momentum shift. And then we had the falling volume to support it. And then a momentum shift here, nothing too significant to trigger that. So you always know you cannot only use one technical indicator, like volume. High volume doesn't always trigger momentum shifts. Bollinger Band squeezes, it doesn't always bounce. EMAs aren't always correct with support and resistance points. I mean, you cannot use one indicator. Like, I could throw another indicator on right now. Let's throw some MACD. We already have that. Let's go for it as stock. Where are we going? Here we go. Alright, you see, this I liked fast. I have a nice little pullback. I don't like buying when it's above 50% on the stock. So you see roughly like here. I'd buy right now. And we're gonna notice the stock some support over here. It's hitting the second support line. And you're gonna notice this is gonna start to slowly turn around. This is gonna curl over, and the squeezes are gonna start to spread out a little bit once we break out of this little downtrend we're in. So right here seems to be the new support around 375 point what is that, 50. Let's kind of just hang out a little bit, make this a little more once you can see it better. Okay. And then here, some big volume coming in, bigger than usual. Like I said, big volume can signal momentum shift. So I'll just draw that up here so you can check that out. And then also you want to notice right around here, it's going to start to turn over. Almost up, we broke the support. So it looks like we're going to be pulling back a little bit more. It looks like we found a new support level right around here. And if we could hold this wick green, this is going to be a turnaround point. So let's just wait for the tick at the end. If this holds green and has to be a little bigger than this bar, it has to close above that high. So it looks like it's trying to push, because as you notice, it's going to start to turn around right here. And there you go. You see, this was the momentum change wick. Let's see if we had a nice volume spike, and we had a decent amount of volume. Not necessarily a spike, but it's good enough. We had a spike about 2 wicks over, and then we just need this wick to close above here. And then we'll be good to pump back up to our previous levels of 377. So I'll put the level 2s on here. And we're still above, about 0.5% above. Let me check how the options are running. Options are doing alright. From yesterday, from a close on the option I bought from down almost 50% net. Because of a nice little sell-off before the close, which I anticipated. We're up back to down 17% net, which obviously is nothing for the due to the strike price I chose of 405, and the stock's trading at 376, and it expires next Friday. So I'm hoping to sell these for a nice profit at around $1.50. Picked it up for 40 cents a contract. So you see, we had this breakout in this line. Looks like we're clear for a breakout to roughly 377. You're going to see this trigger line's going to start to curl over. Let me pull the stock back up, see what's going on. And yeah, we're starting to turn around. It's pulling back a little bit. Alright, so we just had something happen with Apple that this just proves as to why you need to know your technical indicators. We have a cup and handle that formed. See, we have the cup, we have the handle, then we have the breakout. Now it's starting to pull back. But from a trading perspective, this is just intraday. This could be formed on the long term, daily charts, weekly charts, monthly charts, whatever. Point is, you have to know these indicators when trading. Here's the cup and handle in the PowerPoint. So you have the cup, you have the handle, followed by the breakout. Here's the cup, here's the handle, followed by the breakout. And this breakout blew past the opening high. It broke out all the way up to roughly, let's see what price this is. We're at the 78.70. So, I mean, it's very nice breakout. Now we're just pulling back a little bit. We'll probably pull back to the next support line, roughly in this region over here around 77. Just wanted to tune in to show you that. I missed it real time, but I mean, cup and handle. Alright, so it's 240. Just doing a check-in with Apple. You notice we climbed up to roughly 285. 378. And then we fell off a cliff. This is a lesson to be learned right here. This lesson is to take your profits on intraday trading. For example, let's say that you would have, picked up some shares here, and you held it, rode with it, make roughly $1 gain, still don't like it, you go up a little more, you get like $1.50 per share gain, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna let it ride. I'm not gonna take my profits. I'm gonna be greedy. So does the expected dip? It pulls up. You say, hey, the stock's about, it's going to keep going up. And then you get a surprise. Stock falls $2 a share and your profits are gone, and now you're at a loss. So, I figure just point that out. Interesting, because I cannot tell you how many times I myself have either done this, or I've seen it happen to people when they just sit in the stock, they get greedy, they don't take profits, and then it just falls off a cliff.